Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Achraf Talk Show. We are happy to have you guys here again. Today, we are here to talk about a topic that has kind of gained steam in the last couple of days, almost a week now. Hakimi's case and his soon-to-be ex-wife. And we know the details. We're not going to bore you with that, but we're just going to kind of react to all the comments that people are making and take on an assessment of the situation, kind of also analyze other people's assessment of the situation. So again, who else to do this with my always present guest, my co-host of the Achraf Talk Show, and of course, Patrick Power Talk, the host of Patrick Power Talks, who is doing great on Facebook right now. So welcome, Asong. Welcome, Patrick. Happy to have you guys again. Asong, when you first read the news about that, potential divorce and the guy hiding his assets from his wife in his mother's name, what was your first thought?
Strange. I think that's a very strange move for a man to make. Most men either make the move before they get married. Though that a move like that isn't made inside the marriage. So I feel like there's a lot that we don't know about. There's a lot part of this story that hasn't come out yet. At what point did he make the move to transfer his assets and wealth to his mom? At what point did he decide to do that? What was going on in his life, right? Or in the marriage? What would cause a man to think in that way? For me, those are the things that came to mind. But again, it's a very strange I think it's a very strange move that he made. I'm not sure again what was going on, but yeah, that's the very first thing that I thought. Strange move. Yeah. Really.
Yeah. I think he made the move before he got married. I'm not sure about that. You guys can double check me on that, but I think he did that before he got married. So that was interesting. Patrick, your first thoughts on when you read about the news. You read the news.
I thought for once somebody has beaten the system.
Yeah.
Like somebody thought ahead of time. And somebody probably prepared himself for something like this many years back. And I was a little bit surprised that this lady is educated, she's older. I think there are things she was supposed to know. So I was just wondering, how come this one slipped through her fingers? Then I was wondering about the truth of the story, how real it is. Is it real? But even if it's not real, I keep saying, even if it's a fake story, it gives a lot of lessons. People from this thing, I've learned a lot. I've read a lot about other players and all of that. And if it turns out to be true, like real, then he was smart enough for me to beat the system. Looking at the history of other people, other players like him, how they ended. So I just feel like, well, no matter how real it is or how fake it is, it's something we should look into. It's something most other players would think about. Most other sporters and this top 1%, their wives will start thinking about too, and all of that. So yeah, it was an interesting thing for me to look into.
But aren't we over exaggerating or over emphasizing Hakimi's case? Every wealthy celebrity player athlete that I know has something in place to protect them, right? So aren't we exaggerating this?
I mean, maybe we are, because it's the one time it's known that a famous man has beat the system. So there's a lot of focus, media focus, not really media focus, but support from, I would say, a lot of men and some women too, because it seems to be the one time that a famous player with such stature has been able to. I mean, there are other people who have done it, but not the same way that Hakimi has done it.
Is Hakimi's story different because he moved it into his mother's name? Is that the key component? that
That's a key.
he didn't just hide. He didn't just hide it in an account in the Caymans or
Offshore account.
somewhere. He moved
Yeah.
his assets to his mom's name. I think that's the key piece for
That's
most
a
of the
key
comments
piece.
that I've read.
Yeah.
Most
And
of it is
everybody's
about who he moved the assets to, right?
everybody's calling the mom the goat. So
You know,
that yeah.
there's something I came to notice. Look, these people are Muslims, right?
Yeah.
And whether I would like it or not, these Muslims they function differently from us Christians.
They do. Yeah.
So for us Christians, we find it so strange that you transfer your money to your mother, because a lot of people said that your mother will take the money and go and give 10% to the church as
Yeah.
tithe, right?
Yeah.
So Muslim people they do zakat, they call it zakat, but they do that tithing differently. But you should understand also where they come from, the love the mother's given him, his family. We are trying to think that our families are like his family, where we don't trust our brothers, we don't trust our sisters, we don't trust our mothers, we don't trust nobody, even ourselves we don't trust. So people are finding it like bizarre for a man to have that much trust for the mom. That's why I think it's speaking the traction,
So
is speaking
there's a lot of projection from people.
projection on it. And then secondly, again, we've seen more players getting broke, more athletes, more music artists and all of that getting broke by the system through divorce.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit sweet for people to realize that there's a brother somewhere that actually saw this coming and protected himself, no matter how he did it, putting it in the mom's name or putting it in the daughter's name or uncle's name. Somehow, somewhere, he figured this thing before time and protected himself from the system. So that's why it's getting that high level of traction, coupled to the fact that it's attached to the mom.
Yeah, I think so too. My initial reaction was wise. What a wise boy. But I don't know. When I started thinking about it more, I need to know more details in terms of the practicality of all this. I know he paid. I don't think he was paid in his mom's account. Let's put it that way. He probably has an account that his team pays him through. Then he transfers the money to that. So there's a lot to question there, and I think we should start to get into it. What is it? Is it fair to be in a marriage and then have all your financial transactions through your mom? I know we might come in at this from a different cultural and religious perspective, but I think there's some uniformity when it comes to the definition of marriage. Did you think that was fair? I mean, I started thinking about that. How is it to have your mom be, in some sense, the chief financial officer of your marriage?
Was that a question?
Yeah, that's a question. That was my
observation.
rant. That was my rant, and I want you guys to tear it apart.
It's dangerous when you're married and then you make your mother the chief financial officer of your marriage, right? You're supposed to build your own family, make your own mistakes, learn and grow. When you now have a marriage where your mom is making the major decisions in your matrimonial home, that marriage is bound for failure.
Yeah.
There is no way in, there is no way out, because you are not autonomous. It's like you're a quasi state, or you're still being colonized. You're a colony, and you have no power of yours. So your mom has to make certain decisions, and we do know that women with their ego and all of that, there will be a moment where they always have this clash, especially when your mother takes all the major decisions in your marriage. So it's a very dangerous. It's not. I will not even call it a double-edged sword. It's a dagger. That's dangerous and very dangerous. So if we are happy with what he did, but if we want to look at it from the point of view where you get married, not only about Hakimi, right? You get married, then you bring in your mom has to still run all your businesses. Your mom has to still make all the financial, the most important financial decisions on your behalf. And you have a family, you have a wife, you have children. That's very dangerous.
Yeah.
That's very dangerous. And I'm still waiting to see a woman that will sit and take that for long.
Yeah, it is really strange that the wife had no idea from what the papers are saying. That was really is very a conundrum that I say that I could not reconcile. Asan, maybe your thoughts on my
Yeah,
answer.
I read something today. The mom came out and made a comment. She said if the son had done something to protect himself, she wasn't aware of it.
Yeah, which is
That is a
weird.
troubling statement. She said she wasn't aware. So I feel like there's quite a lot to the story that we still we don't know yet. It will come out eventually, but at this point, the mom is saying, "Well, if my son did this, then it's good." However, I wasn't aware that this is what he did.
Yeah.
So
Which
how
is
somebody is lying? There's somebody is not telling the truth.
Exactly the point.
The
That brings
son
it
has
along
either hid this money somewhere, doesn't want anybody to trace it, is using the mom to protect his money, and the mom is coming out and saying, "Well, if you put it in my name, it's good." But I wasn't aware.
I wasn't aware of it.
You understand? So who is
Someone's not telling
hiding
the truth
what?
somewhere.
And can we say the wife did not know?
Yeah.
Can we say the wife did not know?
That's what is baffling, right? It's baffling.
So I feel like if both husbands and wife understand that the money that I have or that I had before we got married is mine, and I'll put it separately. Whatever we make as a couple is for us. It makes sense. When you go to sign your marriage certificate or whatever, there's you're either doing your joint property, whatever they call it, or you're doing it separately, right? So again, these are certain things that we don't necessarily think about when we go for a marriage. Women, when they want to sign, they only want to see monogamy, polygamy. That is all they're interested in. So if the man goes back and say, we will do separation of property or separation of wealth or whatever, the woman is not necessarily interested in that, because her focus is monogamy. That is where her focus is.
Yeah,
so if the man goes ahead and says, okay, we'll do separation of property or separation of income or separation, then the woman doesn't know. And then 10 years into the marriage, when they are about to separate, and then they go back and they say, oh yeah, we had agreed, we both signed that my property is mine and yours is yours, right?
Yeah.
This is what is bothering me, right? When you go to sign, because I'm looking at this lady, she's a star on her own, right? She's a model, she's an actress, so she's doing good.
She's doing good for herself, yeah.
And we know how the marriages in the Western world are. These are paperwork that it's on point. So I'm wondering what did they sign? Like, was it monogamy? Was it polygamy? And then this guy got married at the age of 8. Was it at the age of 19?
She was much older.
Still underage, which is still like underage. So maybe there was this exception, because I think for underage, the mother had to give her consent. Right. So maybe when he was still underage, all of his stuffs were handed to the mother.
Well, he would have been 19 when he got married. I think that's what is on the news. So he was an adult already, and he could make decisions on his own. And I want to shift it here, because it's almost going to the borderline of deceit. Because if you can pull that move and your wife doesn't know, that's almost lying and being deceitful.
It is.
Because that brings us to the point of a lot of people, I don't know, there was a lot of celebration. A lot of men were happy, rightly so. Some women too. Some people were really against. Where does that put us in terms of the relationship between Hakimi and the soon-to-be ex-wife? And where does the court come in now? Because I thought the celebrations were a little bit premature, because the court, I think she can come with a strong defense on that. I was lied to in my marriage, and she has a strong case. What do you guys think?
I agree. Celebrations are premature because, again, the many ways she could get back at him. to again to kind of retrieve whatever she thinks that she deserves as the wife or as the mother in terms of child support and in terms of spousal support and things like that. Even if they don't go back to find what he's made in terms of income in the past, any income that comes in the future, they would have to figure out where it goes to. Because again, at the end of the day, this mom is not the one generating the income. So income, it's his income.
Right.
The wife has a right to that income once it comes in. So you can move it to wherever you want to move it. I mean, they know how you do your taxes. So the state knows how much money you're making. Right. And so if this woman decides to if they decide that they're not going to settle amicably out of court and decide to bring this issue into court, they would trace it.
They would trace everything.
They cannot hide it. They would trace it.
They might not trace the property, but they'll trace the money about the property.
Of course, so, they don't care about the property. They care about the money because again, it's money that you've made, that you've used to acquire whatever.
Why you're married?
Exactly. So they will track the income. That is what that's the only thing they're going to look for.
Let me come in here with another perspective, right?
Yeah.
Donald Trump, the American tax system, has a lot of loopholes, right?
Yeah.
And Donald Trump and many top rich guys were able to exploit those loopholes.
Right.
They didn't create the law. The law was created, and these are the financial laws, these are the tax laws. But there are ways you can go about it, beat it when it comes to your taxes.
Yeah.
And
so no, let's clarify. When it comes to taxes, you can beat the system by
using corporations,
and do deductibles and all that. To not pay back, but you have to declare any amount of money that is generated in your businesses. So, you have to, it comes in, the state knows. You declare how much you make. You might be able to manipulate the tax code so you don't pay as much taxes back to the government, but the government knows how much you make. You can't hide how much you generated. You could.
What I'm trying to say.
Let him finish his thought process.
What if these guys are top guys? You wrote here in this, what you wrote before today. I was reading. You wrote like they have top lawyers. So what I was trying, why I was bringing Donald Trump is to let you know that we have top lawyers that understand how to beat the system, and we have lawyers that are lawyers. They are not at the same level. That's why retainer fees are different. You pay somebody $1,000 an hour. There's somebody you pay $10,000 an hour. My brother, if they're paying you $10,000 an hour, it means you are better.
You better know what you're doing.
$100 an hour, right? So what if this guy? Because I tend to see that these guys, they are intentional. They don't do things per hazard like we do out of our own menial salary we make. These guys are very intentional. They know exactly what they're doing. They get good lawyers. They pay them to figure out how to play these games with them. So I'm not saying what Hakimi did is right, but I'm simply saying that he could be able to play the wife through his lawyers and all that without the woman, because she's a busy woman. She's not a stay-at-home woman, remember? Right? Yeah. She's always busy. She's acting movies. So she's a career woman. Yeah. And the career woman, there are a lot of things that she maybe was not putting her eyes on because she's very busy. And she couldn't expect that this type of games could be run on her. I mean, the street has played her. She was not, she's smart, but she was not street smart. So maybe this guy, from his own issue, because I'm still trying to figure out how this thing went through, how she missed all of it. But then I come to a point where I read something. I read about a man who was about in his 60s. Then he got married to a lady, a young lady in the 20s. And this man knew for sure that this lady is getting married just for the finances. And the man knew that if he's still alive in about 10 years, this lady will divorce him and take half. So the guy figured out how to do this thing with the woman living with nothing. So what did he do? They went to, was it Dominican Republic with the lady? And from what I read, it's like in Dominican Republic, you can divorce your wife without her consent. So this guy legally used the laws of Dominican Republic with all this money. I don't know what he did. Divorced the wife. Then they came back, going around. The wife has no idea they were divorced. And they were living together. And then 20 years after, this woman filed for divorce from one funny excuse. I was asking more than half. Now, when they went through the paperwork, they realized, like, madam, you've been divorced 20 years ago, and it's legal. Because when they bought all the paperwork and everything, it's legal. So the man now said, "This is what I would give you just for the fact that you owe me for 20 years." But I knew from day one that you were here for the money, so I protected myself. So, this law issue, I had a lawyer on my show today. This law issue, it's like this, right? That's why you see the logo. It's one, it's it weighs one side. So it's something that we might look at it from from our own little legal knowledge. But top lawyers at a certain point, they say, "Oh man, there's a loophole here, there's a loophole there." So I don't really know how we can put it, but it's something to really look into.
So
in your assessment, Patrick,
let's try not to litigate, because again, litigation, the victim doesn't always win in the court. Again, you talked about how good your lawyer is. Yes, people have committed murder and have gone scot-free just because they've had better lawyers. So if we try to do litigate here, of course, I mean, if you take into consideration lawyers, and we will let's pay more attention on the morals and things like that. Because again, yes, was it morally correct? No, was it fair? I think those are things we should be looking at. If we try to litigate, we don't know what the results will be.
I think, but do you, Patrick, and this is for you, do you think she has a chance to put up a case, mindful of the fact that she can say she was lied to in her marriage?
Well, you can always put up a case. Now the question is, will you win it?
Yeah.
Right. You can always put up a case. And then you said something about celebrating. What I noticed, like, we declare a war and we celebrate winning the war without actually going for the war first.
Right.
So we always celebrate things that you file a lawsuit and you are happy and you're celebrating and you're drinking.
Yeah.
But you forget that you still have to go to court and battle it through.
Case, right.
So you're supposed to defend the victory, not defend fighting for it. So yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know the legalities, how far it is going in court and all of that, but people are celebrating because they have seen the frustrations they go through from divorces.
Yeah.
We all know the percentage of divorce here. How many men come out happy from divorces?
Yeah.
Divorce is just here to wreck men, especially in developed countries. So people are happy for that reason. So if she wants to go back to court, she can go back to court. The court wins at the end of the day. You pay lawyers, you pay fees, you pay all of that. The court wins at the end of the day. But yes, she can go back to court. She can bring her own excuses. It's not an easy fight. It will not end just like that. We are just happy. The euphoria is high. But bro, this is a long case. It's a long battle.
Yeah, it's a long battle.
I think at the end of the day, he can manage to save a few millions. But this woman will get what she's due fairly. What I think she would eventually get what she's due.
Well, it depends too on how she was acting as a wife. Let's not forget that you can be a bad wife, but we don't know.
But again,
all these things too we count.
Just to add something to what I heard, Hakimi is currently, I think what motivated the divorce was he was accused of rape. And he's being investigated by the French criminal justice system, right? Yeah. So I think if we look at the big picture, this is a guy who has maybe again. I'm not saying that he's been convicted, alleged of. He's not been convicted, but there's investigation currently going on. Yeah, I think that is why the lady decided to separate from him.
Let me cut you short, and that's why most people are happy, because we know these young footballers, they always have rape charges. It's a normal thing now. He's not the first to have all this. Look at Mendy. Mendy I think he's in prison for rape.
No, he's out. He's out.
Say, oh, there no case.
Mendy, Greenwood. Yeah, all these guys
that we have. Ronaldo was accused, and it turned out to be false alarm. This guy, how do you call him, Neymar. So you cannot looking at the precedents, looking at that. Most of these guys, you can just look at the lady and she accuse you of rape, and within the period of proving that he didn't rape her, it's a whole case. People are talking about it and making views out
of it.
Your
life changes.
Your life changes, because when women say you've done something, you need about 3 years to say you didn't do it. But within that period, you are being punished. You are being look at even this guy they call Johnny Depp. Look at what he went through for us to realize that he was innocent, right? So if your wife can just hear that, oh, they accuse you of rape, and then she says she wants a divorce.
Again, I'm not.
He was just waiting for the perfect
That is
moment.
probably not
I'm
the
using an
primary.
example.
That would probably not be the primary reason. I think it was
a lot.
I believe the marriage was already failing, and this was a good excuse for her to you know
to do it. Okay, let's set context here.
That's the reason why we are happy.
Yeah, that's one reason that we're happy. That's true. Let's set a
the
little
right
context.
Moment to sign out. She wanted to sign out, but she was looking for the perfect excuse to sign out.
Yeah.
So it's what I said, that she prepared the marriage for a divorce because she's about 19 years older than this man. She
12
knew
years,
that
actually.
at some she's 12 years. At some point, she will leave and she will take. So that's what I'm saying, that it's a premeditated act.
But don't you think the man to prepare himself for the divorce even
that's what I wanted us to get into.
Because if you love a woman
someone,
and you're looking to live the rest of your life with a certain woman, you don't start making alternative arrangements.
Yeah.
Unless
the one was smarter.
One was smarter. Okay, let's get it. Did they just to set context? She's 12 years older than him.
Yeah.
So that plays a lot into the case too.
If the man was 12 years older than the wife, what difference does it make? Why do we want to create an issue with terms of age?
No, because generally most men marry younger women.
Generally, most older men, they take care of their wives. They do practically everything. Most older women, we know what is happening with them, right? So it's a funny thing, but I don't see any reason. It's funny when women do something and say, "Oh, men are doing it too." But be it the older men or the younger men or the older women or the younger women, at the end of the divorce, it's a financial breakthrough for them, and it's a pin in the ass of the man. Mm-hmm. So the man always comes out a loser, be it younger man or older man, younger woman or older woman. The man carries the burden, the stress, the pain, the destruction is on the man.
Mm-hmm. Why I say it's an issue because most men, he was fairly young when he got married. He was 19, and a lot of people argue that he wasn't really mature to get married in the first place.
He was an adult, man. I don't know.
He was an adult.
Want to take it and we can't defend this guy. This guy was an adult, saw a beautiful wife, a beautiful woman, and decided that he wanted to get married. When he was 19, how much money did you think he was making? Don't you think this woman was making a lot more money than her?
Well, but she could smell potential, and she could trajectory.
Planning a game.
So I'm saying that we cannot defend this guy by saying, oh,
no, we cannot defend this guy.
No,
I'm just saying
he was 19. He was an adult.
But also, if you're a woman,
that's all.
Yeah, but if you're a woman too and you marry a guy who is 12 years younger than you, you're also preparing for divorce. That's also you're starting on the wrong foot. So it's both ways. It's not just one way.
No. So men who marry women who are much, much younger than them are preparing for divorce. Is that what we're saying?
No, that's not.
Why is it reverse true? Why is it reverse true?
Women don't think they're men. Women don't function.
Because we want different things. And men want different things from women, and women want different things from men.
On this scale, you can't put women with men at the same level. It's impossible because, as I said before, sorry to cut you short, bro. Women think differently. Women act differently. Women see things differently. A woman looks at you, and the woman looks at the future. When you are older than a woman and she's saying yes to you, 80% of the time, you must be financially capable to take care of her. If you're older and you're broke, she might not say yes. But if you're old and you have a lot of money, 80% or 95% of women will say yes to you. Not because they love you, but because of the financial comfort they will get from being with you. But older women, she could go for another guy, right? Why just Hakimi? Hakimi had the potentials already. When an older woman gets married to a younger person, we can't put it the same like an older man getting married to a younger lady.
Yeah, right? Because I think they're two different things.
Different things. And at the end of the day, the divorce affects the man more than the woman. No matter how rich you are, no matter how broke you are. But I think that women don't look at marriage like us men we do. That's why a man can be so rich, picks a lady from the streets, make her successful, make the family successful. And then at the end of the day, he's dropped, his properties and everything is broken into two. We have many cases here in Texas and all of it where these guys bought their wives from Nigeria from nothing. And then when they become successful, they file for divorce. You have to pay the rent, you have to pay the mortgage, you have to pay everything. And then she's staying there with the man. and then we see them killing them. So I'm simply saying that this lady was 12 years older. She was already making some money. She was more smarter. She knew what she was doing. She saw the guy. She saw the potential. This guy was doing great already. There was a clear path for him to be successful. So she just played her card smartly. And then this is the point. Because if she was not there for law, for all of these issues, why just a little issue like maybe we are assuming that one of the deal breaker was the case, the rape case, the accusation for the rape and all of that. Then you just storm out. What about the children? Okay, what if you are storming out? Why don't you just sit on the table? You make an agreement with your husband, like, okay, this is how child support will be, and all of that. Why must you make this man half rich because you want to take care of the kids? You put the kids in front now as an excuse to say, oh, I'm taking all of this to take care of the kids. But you have everything. This man can still support you. Why must you take all of it? Why must you make the man look poorer in front of the children? So it's a smart game. Unfortunately, if it is true, then she was outsmart.
I think she really a smart guy. Because come to think of it, he had to have something that will have to upset that age difference. For her to be able to say, no, I'm willing to go 12 years younger and find someone. You need to have a strong potential. It doesn't have
12 years younger.
Am I saying that is impossible? No, but what are the probabilities of that really happening? It's not very probable.
And okay. what's the probability that they go 12 years young and they go for a guy that is just selling a regular guy, selling the growth?
No, but this woman is not this woman is not a regular woman herself. So why would she go for regular?
So, but men do that. Men can go right down. Like Jibril Cisse. I had a case of I have a whole list here. Jibril Cisse did the same thing. When Jibril Cisse met a hairdresser in the nightclub in Queen's Park Rangers, hairdresser. Met this lady already had a child. That is, they said it's a rap to riches story. Met this girl in the club, a hairdresser, got married to the girl, made the girl successful, and then a few years down the line, this man is asking for divorce and asking for
really
her.
If we really want to fault people for things like that, should we be looking at a woman, or should we be telling these men to stop marrying women who because again we feel like we have to bash these women for accepting to marry a man who is richer and who is more prosperous than them. We should instead be talking to the men. If you're looking for a wife, look for a wife you can manage or you can handle. Don't go look for a woman that is 12 years older than you. Maybe that is a conversation we need to be having.
That's a fair point.
Sorry.
Did you think the mother had foresaw this and then tried to warn him and then put guardrails for him? And I think that's why he was able to pull this move, because I think he had advice from really smart people who saw the future and like, this is probably not going to work. You have to protect yourself. And that is how he was able to pull this move. God, this is very unprecedented.
He could have just asked for what is it? It's called it
prenup.
A prenup. And make it
that's why the story. That is my thing. Is my thing,
and your thing is your thing. And this is a prenup, clean and clear. We all know what we're doing, because it appears like it's deceitful, and it tells you what the marriage was from the very beginning.
That's the point. That's why, because prenup doesn't include what you acquire during the marriage, and that's why. That's what we're saying. It's a little bit premature to be able to celebrate now, because prenup protects you for assets you brought into the marriage, not what you gain during the marriage. So I don't think, and that's why I think she has a very strong case.
She has a very strong case. I'm with you on that, and I think she has a very strong case. He can hide. He can sit somewhere now and rejoice with his friends, but it's just going to be temporary. That's all I know.
Let me see. Let me read this stuff. I saw this stuff I don't know if you guys read my WhatsApp when I spoke about N'Golo Kante.
He married Jibril Cisse's ex-wife. That was real.
If you're not stupid, you go and marry somebody like Jibril Cisse. You go and marry.
That's the ex-wife I'm talking about.
The most Mutuku man. When they say N'Golo Kante is like some man who doesn't even know what he's worth. You go and marry a player, but he just. And you think you're
listen to the fun of it.
People, that's
the lady I was talking about. The hairdresser.
I read that.
With 3 kids. So she has 2 kids with GBCC and 1 kid before getting married to GBCC. She became famous. She became famous because she got married to GBCC, and she was just a hairdresser. So after about how many years of marriages, she filed for divorce and asked for her. But GBCC was smart enough to have protected himself.
Right.
People don't talk much because it was far. It was many years back.
Yeah, but he did almost same.
To protect himself, but he did same. But the brother's name. Now, recently, Richard Bonner came out and said something. He said Hakimi is just following his footsteps. So Hakimi is like his grandchild, because when he divorced his wife, they asked him to give half. That he had 12 million. They asked him to give half, but unfortunately, there was nothing on his name. So in his personal account, he had $300,000. So they did half of $300,000. And the wife took 150.
He's lucky because he was hiding it in Cameroon and they couldn't find it. He just
so that's what I'm saying. That these guys, he could be hiding. So that's why this guy is saying, like, people have been doing it. Many stars. Let me take a look at when you watch what is happening in the football world today. You'll be stupid not to protect yourself. Let me just give this rundown of, I see just examples. Emmanuel Eboué lost children and property to his wife after divorce. The wife took everything. Eboué nearly committed suicide. Emmanuel Eboué was sleeping on the streets. The wife took everything after divorce. Louis Saha lost half of his fortune to his wife after divorce. This is what Louis Saha said. Louis Saha said, I quote, that most footballers get divorced after the end of their careers. Their wife leaves them after the end of their careers. They are with you during the career playing days because of the glory, the big names, and the movement, the fame, But the moment you divorce, 80% of these wives, they leave you. So Louis Saha started training athletes or more of these stars, footballers, how to protect themselves before divorce. Okay, I go to the next case. Wes Brown. You know Wes Brown, Manchester United. He just declared bankruptcy. The wife took everything after divorce, right? We have David James, lost everything. The wife divorced him and later auctioned his belongings to make money. We have Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry lost 10 million to the wife, and he said his first season in Barcelona, he was really frustrated and he was going through serious trauma. So the divorce affected his first season in Barcelona. Ryan Giggs lost $40 million pounds. To the wife.
I'm sure we can go down the list.
There's definitely a long list of.
So that's why men are celebrating a lot.
But I think men, I understand what Hakimi did, right? It makes sense. But my problem is, if you want to protect yourself, why not protect yourself in a way that everybody understands that I am deciding? Your wife gets to understand that I am.
Bro, they don't care about everybody. They don't care about everybody. They care about themselves.
They care about themselves.
I understand. I understand they need to do that, right? But I'm saying that now there's a lot of background story, a story that we don't know.
Yeah.
Really, when I really want to know when he decided to do this.
Yeah. That would be interesting to know the details.
How it's done. Because again, like you said, Ghana, money is paid to him.
Yeah, you cannot give
not directly to the mom's account. I think it's paid to an account that he owns, and then he moves this money outside that account
to his mom. Yeah,
so he's figuring out how that happens. So if he has an expense in his family, so if he wants to buy a new car for himself or for his wife, where does the money come from? Does the mom have to agree that you get a new car and I'll send you money? If he wants to buy a house,
let me tell you what happened.
I think that's what I said. Yeah,
for his kid. Does he say, Mom, I need this amount of money? Can the mom say, no, I'm not giving you?
This is I read a case in the UK, a Nigerian man in the UK. He's rich, and when he got married to his wife, he actually realized like the wife is a cranny type. You know, women show their characters later on. Marriage just amplifies the things we're hiding. Some women can actually pretend until you marry them, then they start bringing it out. It's just rather unfortunate you didn't take time to see it. You only see it when they're married to you. Then you start figuring out what to do. So this man is rich. He's the UK, and it's a real life story because it's a sister that was asking for help. So this man is rich. Got married to this lady. He has companies in Nigeria, in the UK, and in Ghana. So, but he's based in the UK. So when he got married to his wife, he realized like it's a rich family too, but he realized the wife's a gold digger, and there is no way out. So what he did, he transferred everything secretly to the mom. Like he sold everything to the mom, everything. Then now he's just like a general manager. He has a salary every
employee.
month.
Okay.
an employee. So every month he works on the salary. So when the wife went to the UK and after 2 years asked for a divorce, when they went to court, they bought everything. He's just a general manager. And everybody knows he owns these businesses. But now the mom automatically came out. The woman didn't even know when all of this happened. People are smart. People have good lawyers. They can.
Bro, I totally understand that point. But that's it. That I feel like that's an unfair comparison. We cannot be comparing an employee who is making a significant amount of money and someone who owns a company. Owning a company, it's totally different. You can either transfer your company to someone else, but you cannot transfer how much you have been paid into your account because of a service that you render as an employee and claim to be a model. It's I think
do you know these footballers, they have let me cut it short. Lionel Messi had an issue with his money. Even Eto'o, they had an issue when with the tax and all of that.
Tax evasion,
because they were trying to hide with the help of the team of Barcelona. You remember when they signed Neymar, they had a lot of safe havens to hide money. That had nothing to do with Neymar. So this is to tell you that these football teams know what they're doing. It also benefits them. So they can play this game with the football team, and you, the wife, you're completely blank. They say, okay, this is what is coming here, this is what is going there. These guys, they are smart enough, because when I look at the case of Barcelona with Messi, and then the case of Barcelona with this guy they call Neymar, and then the offshore accounts that were coming in from nowhere. Things that were signed in Brazil, documents that were signed in Brazil that nobody actually saw. It came out when they investigated. So these teams can also play that game because they profit through the save money, and then it's complicated, but it's doable.
True, but even if you have to provide the team foreign accounts to transfer money in, when a player is signed, the amount of money that they sign is public. You don't hide it. It's not a private figure that they give you in hiding and then nobody knows. If you're doing endorsement deals, the amount of money you sign an endorsement deal, it's public. These are accounts, sums of money that are public. Anybody can figure out how much you made, how much these players make a year. So you can hide as much as you want to hide, but we know how much you made. And what is important is not what you've hidden. What is important is how much
you were paid.
If you talk to people who are paying child support out here, they don't say how much money did you save, how much money did you keep here, keep there, spend here. How much money did
how much you make.
And what you pay for child support comes out from what you made that year, not what was left over after all the expenses you.
So to be fair to it's not a case of child support, because it's a case of her asking the asset. So that's a little bit different.
But again, it's a case of he has to pay child support. Fine, he has to pay spousal
I don't think
support.
that's in dispute.
And this woman too has a right to whatever amount of money or assets that they made when they were together. She has a right to it.
No, that's why I come in to say she's destructive. That's why I come in to say she's I call them Jezebelic and Serpentine. She has a Serpentine nature. Let me give an example with this guy they call Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole got married to, we know Ashley Cole, right? Chelsea, Arsenal. He got married to a rich lady, richer than him, and I think it's a singer, richer than him. Now, when they got divorced, you know what the lady did? Ashley Cole we all know Ashley Cole is what they call woman rapper. We all know, when you read Ashley Cole's story, he's a guy who's everywhere. He's the nightclub guy. He's the woman guy. He's everywhere. But what the wife did was this, right? The wife, when they went on a divorce, the wife said, I don't need to take anything from you for you to be able to take care of the children. So what they did, they went on the table. The wife said, you keep everything that you make. I will keep everything that I make. But we come to a compromise about child support, how we take care of the children.
Right.
And then they came to a compromise. And the lady kept his name till today. The lady is called, I've got her name, something cool. She kept the husband's name, but they came on the table and they said, okay, good. We are leaving. What about the children? They came together, both of them, made their discussions between them, decided that this is what I'll give you every year or every month or every week for the children. And then they went their separate ways. Nobody had anything. But when you're asking for half of a man's
asset, I think that's what the issue is.
You are destroying the man. So if you are claiming you are doing that for the children, how can you destroy the father of your own children?
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
Losing, how does giving half of how does it destroy you? I
Yeah.
don't
Anyway,
understand.
let's pivot. Let's pivot to run up. Let's pivot to
It
run up.
destroys you as a man. Giving half
It
of
does.
your sweat, half.
Yeah. Let's pivot to run up. Another interesting thing was the reactions from people. One thing that surprised me, he had a lot of support from married women. Also, a lot of them had male children. So I don't know if these women could see how corny and destructive and evil this woman was getting to the marriage, like you said, Patrick. All people they were just being fair and rational. Another reaction that caught my eye was married women who are living on their husband's dime, who are being sponsored by their husband, telling their single friends, "Oh, you should be independent and make your own money." Did you guys see that contradiction?
Of course, that's the double standard we talk about, right? That's double standard we talk about. And I had this show last week, and the topic was double standards, women and a double standard. And somebody said something that most women would like their son to be Hakimi, but they wouldn't want their husbands to be Hakimi.
Right.
Most women would like a Hakimi for a son, but not a Hakimi for a husband. That's to show the double nature of a woman. That's
if I were a mom and my son had to transfer everything to me, I'd definitely be happy. So that's why most women who have kids who have sons would definitely want a son to transfer everything to them. Again, just like you said, Patrick, they will not want their husband to be Hakimi, but they want their sons to be. They will not want their daughters' husbands to be Hakimi. You see, so it just goes to tell you that this things like this are pretty subjective. If I feel like it would benefit me, of course, I definitely support it, right? And if I feel like no, this will not benefit me in any way, I'll reject it.
I think we've talked about everything. Not sure if anybody wants to say any last thing.
No, just saying that protect yourself. Be it a man, be it a woman. Be smart. Protect yourself. Be smart.
That's all.
I think this is just the beginning of the story. In the next couple of weeks, we'll definitely hear more. We would
learn more about it.
Probably come back to talk about it, but I definitely think that this is just part of the story. The rest of the story, the big picture, is still to show up.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you guys, and I will pick up from here next time.